It's okay. Off your mind, it's okay. Off your mind,
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you ladder, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This man not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Godfatherism, kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun diary. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o, kẹ́gọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu.
Good evening to you. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you from wherever you are watching from. And this is Maiyegun Live. And thank you for joining me. You can share the broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite everyone that needs to be here and those who probably should be here, but they're somewhere else as well. Invite them and tell them that.
But one thing I believe we all have in common, Nigeria. One thing that we have in common, Nigeria. Ijaw nation, if you like. I have never used Yoruba nation, and I will never. Because I believe that my Nigerianness is bigger than my Yorubaness. And neither my Yorubaness nor my Nigerianness should stand in the way of each other. For me, my Nigerianness is very important because I am more than what I should have been as a Nigerian than as an Ududua Republic man. And I believe that that should be the case for every one of us.
No, sir, that is not the case. You see why we should all get involved in what is going on back in Nigeria. The conversation, the politics of it, call it the debate, if you have any of them that is ready to engage you in a debate. But for whatever is going on now, the reason why we all must be involved is this. For way too long, we have been blindsided by those we naturally believed that as Nigeria is meant to be a conglomeration of all ethnic nationalities from every part of Nigeria who will never lose their identity. But we have been blindsided by different politicians who have been speaking for themselves while we believed what they were saying were for us. In the process, they have managed to be the opinion maker, decision makers, opinion molders, and all other things that are, policy makers as well, right? Everything that has shaped us into this level of conditioning that I call state of confusion, one Nigeria. So for far too long, we have let these characters define us, forgetting that majority of them were defining themselves based on what Nigeria is giving to them, their family, and on, including their businesses. And when I say Nigeria, I'm talking about how connected they are to the likes of Buhari, Obasanjo, Babangida, Goodluck Jonathan, Yaradua, Abdul Salami, and every one of those who have their own connection with their state governors. Name them, shame them. So when they give their views about what they believe, like Obasanjo said, I believe that should be the views of everyone. That whether you are an Ijaw man, Nigeria is greater than Ijaw. Whether you are an Igbo man, Nigeria is greater than Igbo. Whether you are a Yoruba man, Nigeria is greater than Yoruba. Whether you are an Hausa man, on and on like that, Nigeria is bigger than you. But guess what? Ask them to define what makes that Nigeria bigger. Then you will discover the myth. Absolute no substance, nothing to really back it up. But it's been like that for long. You cannot break Nigeria. Man, forget it. The people that own Nigeria, psychological conditioning. So that's why we have to get involved now. Not for our own sake, but for the sake of our children. Because guess what? When you have a country like this, an Ijaw man should always, if an Ijaw man has an opportunity to represent Ijaw people on the round table, at the round table where they call Nigeria, you build a table and you call that table, this is table of Nigeria. So everybody must come to that table until any decision is generally accepted by everyone, interest group in that table, then it is not a decision. So an Ijaw man that goes to that table must be going there with just one intention and one intention only, and that is Ijaw first. Ijaw people first. Yoruba first. Biafra first. Arewa first. Name them on and on and on and on like that. So it is now when you come to that table that you can then say, okay, if what Ijaw want, Ishekiri want, these people want, those ones want, let them vote on consensus on that and give it to them. If this is what you want, different from what they want, it shouldn't contradict theirs. That is what Nigeria should be like. But that is not what it is. Mental conditioning, something that tells you that the moment you say, I pledge to Nigeria, my country, you are completely lost. You know why? It is about personal and selfish interest for anyone, including this Baba, who actually shaped the Nigeria you are all living in today, the troubled Nigeria of today. Obasanjo. They know it. That when you say, I pledge to Nigeria, my country, they are the Nigeria. It's not for you. So when you now gain access to power through them, there is no need for anybody to remind you how you became that among others and who your loyalty should be to Nigeria. A myth. And since Nigeria is bigger than your people, since Nigeria is bigger than where you are coming from, since Nigeria is bigger than the millions of people that actually gave you that backing to speak for them, whatever they want becomes secondary. That conditioning requires our intervention, especially many of you who don't live in Nigeria. Because you see what I'm talking about right now? It's going to be sounding like, to many. But as usual, I'll do my best to break it down so understandably well for somebody who actually find it difficult to understand politics and the intrigues around it. That is why a Yoruba governor will come out boldly and say, the reason why I can't deliver good or the goodies of governance to my people is because I am always short. The reason why I'm short is because my hands are tied. I only work with whatever they give to me from Abuja. He knows that's a problem, but he also knows that if that problem is no longer there, if there is no Abuja to tell him what to do with the resources of his people, he is likely to do more, and by so doing, he is likely to be responsible more. Ask me why. A governor that will never find it convenient to scatter the executive meeting in Abuja simply because he is unable to use the resources in his own state. His state is poor. And then somebody else is actually extracting those resources and they turn them to Bambi Allah that gives them monthly stipends. But he knows that that stipend won't take care of his own people. They will continue to live in poverty. But he is not bold enough to throw shares, scatter everywhere and say, you know what, don't come to my state again and take any money. We can't live like this. The reason why he won't do that is because his loyalty is not to the people. His loyalty is to Nigeria, which is a myth. So they don't speak for us. What they do most of the time is to undermine us. And these characters, like I said, they cut across everywhere. So when they talk about Nigeria, you should always remember from what background is Obasanjo talking from? From what background would Tifnumbu be talking from? From what background would all of the 6 state governors in Yoruba land be talking from and their family members? Would they be talking on the background that you still have no electricity in 21st century? The region, the people that had television before France, the former colonial master, people who had television before France, in 2021, they have no electricity. In 2021, they have no good roads. They have no good schools. They have no good hospitals. They have no good medical system at all that can even take care of the scavengers who are also Yorubas, making decisions and representing Yoruba in the project Nigeria for the past 22 years. Let's cut it short. So the same guys are saying being part of one Nigeria is greater than being part of a small country called Oduduwa Republic. No wonder many of them, when they had the opportunity to build from what Awolowo started, policies are what made Awolowo always memorable. And I'll tell you why. Policies. Awolowo is not remembered because of how many properties he owned. Awolowo is not remembered because of how many cars they gave him, like they give to your politicians today. They say, it's a gift. Oh, that is the governor that gave them the land. You know, Awolowo is remembered for life-changing policies that were not perfect, but as much as they are not really perfect, the impact of them are still being felt today. While those who succeeded him did everything to undo everything Awolowo did. Today, education doesn't really matter anymore in Yoruba land if you and I are being honest to ourselves. All thanks to the likes of Obasanjo because of One Nigeria. What One Nigeria did to us. You will see people who are in their 50s, in their 60s. They will be telling you about the time when UCH Ibadan used to be like the King's Hospital or Queen's Hospital in the UK. The King of Saudi Arabia and his family, that is where they always come to for their own medical tourism. Then you listen to this, our 70, 75 years old, 60 years old Yorubas, professors, well-read people, reminiscing on those good old days. We used to go to this farm settlement in Oyo, farm settlement in Waterside, farm settlement in Ondo, farm settlement here, housing, what do you call it, local housing, cheap housing built by Awolowo for, all those things that brings nostalgia, like gives people some sort of a nostalgic feelings. They are now buried in history book. We achieved them because we were Yoruba people who could do whatever we wanted with our resources. We were not beggars. And what did the likes of Obasanjo and Co? What did they do? They maintained a one Nigeria that denied our children better education, that denied the poor access to the better, well-funded scholarship that used to be the things of the old. Unfortunately, most of those who got those scholarships, many of them, they stayed back and they've left Nigeria for good. When Nigeria became what it's becoming, when Nigeria started becoming what it has become today. Majority of them who stayed back, some of them who returned back to Nigeria, they went back and Nigeria either ruined them or they became part of those who destroyed their Nigeria today. They took education away from the children of the poor. They messed up the quality of that education. And we started producing quacks. We started producing educated illiterates. We started producing shallow thinkers. We started producing ass lickers, praise singers, and we started producing the generation of those who you can call scroungers, unproductive elements. And year in, year out, we continue to backslide and backslide and backslide until now, that when they say the poverty capital of the world, Nigeria, then you see millions of your brothers and sisters who are living in that poverty. 50, 60 years ago, that wasn't the dream. Awolowo and his team, they knew what we could have, what we would achieve if we make educating our children, the priority, not building mansions, not looting and building foreign accounts, not flying private jets, and turn yourselves to saviors of the people you made poor every election cycle. No, that wasn't the future. And the future the future they ruined is what they have told you and me. Now look at that future. We now have the future where every year universities, different tertiary institutions in Yoruba land continue to dish out graduates on different fields who are completely useless, not to Yoruba land. I mean, they are not useful to Yoruba land. They are not useful to themselves. They are not useful to Nigeria because the system is built to make them never, ever to be useful. Yet, you see, have the Yoruba parading themselves as leaders and talking about greater one Nigeria. Let me break that down for you, okay? In case if you have no clue. The ruins and how much it has done to us year in, year out, they are in multifold that we are likely never, ever going to be able to change those they have configured in that situation or in that condition. And we need to focus on the generation coming after, so that the likes of Obasanjo, the likes of Tifnumbu, the likes of all those born liars and opportunists who sold us off, made so much money from it, and they are laughing us off. They won't mislead our own children too. It is very, very important. If you have looked around at the level of ignorance among the populace of the Yoruba people today, you have engineers who can build anything. I'm going for the National Youth Service. Oh, what did you study? What's your discipline? What did you study in school? Civil engineer. Wow. And then what's the plan now? Well, I'm going to go for my master's. I'm going to go for this and that, only to end up as a supervisor at a Chinese plastic making factory. See, what do they do now, bros, after your master's in civil engineering? My brother, this country is just, man. I'm just working as a supervisor now until something better comes up. I'm working as a supervisor at a Chinese plastic making factory, civil engineer graduate. They did that on purpose, to the point that the education these guys in Yoruba, I'm focusing on Yoruba land now. You know why? Because I'm a Yoruba man, and there are things that makes me proud. These are the things they have taken away. They've taken them away, replaced them with a myth that says I'm a Nigerian, and I have to accept that until I can say I am no longer a Nigerian with a proof. The damage is done. The backwardness, they were done by the Yorubas. They were not done by Igbos. They were not done by Hausas, not by Fulanis. But if you are if you are an Hausa man, an Igbo woman, an Ijaw man or Ijaw woman, you know what I mean? Wherever you come from, all over Nigeria, you see, our stories are similar, same. So just put yourself where I say Yoruba, just put yourself there. And whenever I mention Tifnumbu, whenever I mention Obasanjo, whenever I mention all these guys, you always have the same people in your own part of that country who made it possible for you and me to be in this present situation. But if you ask them, they will tell you otherwise. And they will tell you otherwise, not just that, because they believe in their own truth. So you can put yourself in that bracket. I'm not going to blame an Igbo man for why the Yoruba people are what we are today. Some people find it convenient, right? They said that Agoyin Rosie was the one who, who canceled the regional system of government. And then Agoyin Rosie was the one who brought one Nigeria. And I'm like, okay, that was 1966. And it was in the January 15, 1966 coup. Agunyi Rosi is dead. Who else are those who are with him? Kaduna Ezegu, who planned the coup, is dead. Zadauna of Sokoto or Zadauna of Kano, Amadu Bello that they killed, they are dead. Awolowo that they, politically dethroned in 1963, 1964 precisely. That's when the Wahala started. Awolowo that they dethroned for that is also dead. But guess those who are now shouting one Nigeria today? You will see your brothers there, Igbo man, Igbo woman, shouting one Nigeria. But very convenient for them to talk about Biafra whenever they want to appeal to that, that open wound of Biafra on the side of the Biafrans. Oh, look at what they did to us in Biafra. Look at this and that, but it's a lie. When it comes to the same treatment, when it comes to underdevelopment, right? You will see the Yoruba man there too, right? And they are all shouting one Nigeria. Your brothers and sisters, some of them, they were babies in 1966. Some of them, they were not born in 1966. But today, they are those who are hunting down everybody, asking for restructuring or regionalism or Biafra or Yoruba nation. So, do you still think I should sit down here and still continue to blame Ironsi when Tifnumbu said Nigeria can never be divided? Tifnumbu is a Yoruba man. He is not a Tifnumbu Ironsi. I'm saying this to you so that you can know that, yes, 1966, some people did it. But who are those who have been collaborating with it, fighting tooth and nail in order to take their turn, since it has become turn by turn Nigeria Limited? Who should I? Well, let's come back home again, Jerry. They destroyed everything. And it is so convenient, yeah, to blame Nigeria. Have you noticed that? When they do their corner scheming and that boomerang, poverty escalates, crime balloon, then they will bring that one mysterious Nigeria, one Nigerianness that we should all come together and fight terrorism and fight insecurity and fight this and that. And then you turn around, you realize that these guys are actually mad people. These guys are making billions of naira from the blood of innocent people. How is that the one Nigeria? Completely fraud. But when you look around, you will see the Yorubas there. You will see the Igbos there. You will see the Fulanis there. You will see the Hausas there. You will see everyone there. Because that is the myth called one Nigeria. So if you believe in it, that is the myth you are believing in. You are believing in. It is unreal and you should be involved. So let's now talk about our involvement. How do we get involved for real? We get involved first by denying that hey, there's this thing that they use, there's this fancy word. I want to remember it. Stereotyping. I don't know if it's the right one. Stereotyping, as if to say, number one, you had a choice when you were to be born. That, oh God, I'm going to the world. Do I want to be, this me, just floating about? Then somehow your spirit just match your papa, match your mama, pick them from Igbo land. And then they gave birth to you because you choose to be an Igbo. Nobody chose where or who, let me say, where to be born. Nobody. No one. Did you know that? Right? So when you came here and you open your right eye, you see people. But before you even open the eyes, you heard them speaking Igbo. You had no idea what they are speaking about. You could hear in that your little infant mind. So everything else that you probably want to defend today of who you are, you came to this world to find out. That's you. It was after you came here that you found out. So as an Hausa man, as an Igbo man, as a Yoruba man, and what have you. So nothing should, because that is the primary thing of who you are. It was after that you get to know that, oh, I am born into an Igbo family. This is a son. We have to do this, we have to do that. Traditionally, oh, we have to take him to the church and pray. Oh, I am born into a Yoruba family. Alaji Gabiru, Ekwewomo, Alaja Sikra, Ekwewomo, Longhawolo, and that's Ijaw Nikomo. You know what I mean? There are rituals that get you introduced to that culture, people, that ethnic, that thing that make you who you are. Nigeria is secondary. Nigeria is secondary. Now, if you have managed never to live with that fraudulent belief that, I'm a Nigerian. Yes, you are a Nigerian. I mean, officially you are. Officially, I am a Nigerian because that's the passport I've got. And their document here in the UK, so what's your nationality? Nigerian. Document. That can change tomorrow. Yes, it can. And it will, if we are involved. So if our children are not made to be fantasizing with a country that doesn't really exist, unreal, that many people have done so well to make us believe in a lie. So if your children don't believe in that lie, if your children are beginning to ask, Daddy, what actually makes us a Nigerian? Say, well, you know what? The reason why you are a Nigerian is because you are a Yoruba. I mean, you are a Yoruba, and you are part of Nigeria geographically now. So whatever, if you go outside this country, you will be identified as a Yoruba Nigerian, but they will see you as a Nigerian. Okay? But if you are here, and wherever you go all over the world, do not forget you are a Yoruba man. And this is why we are part of Nigeria today. Be open to your children. Tell them, we didn't create Nigeria. The people who are part of Nigeria today did not create Nigeria. Tell your children that truth. Don't tell your children to rush and go on and prostrate before Obasanjo when they meet them at the airport. When they see Obasanjo, when they see any of these guys anywhere outside Nigeria, don't send your children to go and kneel down and and greet them. You are misleading your children. And this is why they are Yorubas. Those people don't represent Yorubas, and they don't hide it. Their number one job, if they are doing their job, right, is that if the Yorubas says we want regional system of government, it is the job of those who claim to represent Yoruba land in Nigeria, yeah, to look into that and make it part and parcel of their project for the Yoruba people. Perfect it, get people involved in it, and then take it up there with them. You don't turn around and give the excuse to your people when you haven't even listened to them. Do you get what I mean now? So you don't become Nigerian simply because you are elected a senator. You are elected a senator by Igbomina people. They are Yoruba people. So if the Igbomina people are meeting up with their Ekiti, and then Ekiti people are meeting up with the Oyo people people are meeting up with Osun people are meeting up with the Kwara people are meeting up with the Abeokuta and Ogun people, and all that. You know, if they decided that regional system of government is something we want to try, and it is your job to push that,
it is not the job of the politicians to now tell them and say, you know, we can't do that. You know, we are part of APC. That is going to be really, really bad. So to an average Yoruba politician as we speak today, because of one Nigeria, he will hide under his party, hide under one Nigeria, and denying the Yorubas, the listening ears, that actually gives them the opportunity to say, this is what the Yorubas are asking for. I'm a Yoruba man, even if I'm an APC person, even if I'm a PDP person, but I'm a Yoruba man. I need to listen to their concerns. And in this case, we need to listen to their concerns. We shouldn't be part of those that are going to bury them. But you know what? Listening to our concerns, we eventually show to all of you that the Hausas are not the problems. The Igbos are not the problems. The Fulanis are not the problems. Fulanis that trek and got into Yoruba land, he is able to do that because Nigeria says he can go anywhere he wants. The same Nigeria says it is a crime for you as a Yoruba community to resist them. That is against the law. Then you have the politicians who knows the wreck that these criminals are wrecking, the havoc they are wrecking in Yoruba land. They decided to play a pretentious game to be politically correct because of what? Because of one Nigeria. So one Nigeria is greater than whatever the Yorubas are feeling, especially if Yoruba says, we are done. We don't want to be part of this anymore. We want to leave. The Yoruba governor will tell you it is not possible. Then protect us. I'm sorry, I can't really protect you. Federal government won't let me. Then go up there and tell the federal government to help up. We want to protect ourselves. We have the resources to protect ourselves. Go there and do it. No, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. We just have to make sure that we are vigilant. Let's just be vigilant. How is that fair? How is that fair? So I told people, I said, how do we get involved? How do we get involved? Everybody wants to be involved. There are so many ways that we can turn this around. And let me tell you this. I want to share with you what I believe was done that got the same people in Yoruba land who resisted independence, self-rule, when the likes of Awolowo were on scholarship in London. What they did between 1947 and 1954, something that changed the course of history until 1966, which then changed the course of our own history today. Getting involved starts with the type of people that are involved. It is not expected that majority are going to agree with you on how to take down a system that has limited our people, subjected us to the perpetuity of ignorance, something that makes us so kind of subhuman. People who can think about the next meal and not the next greatness that they could think of. Those who made that happen, there is a way to infiltrate that. And most of what I'm going to share with you now, there are some part of it that I'm not going to really say so clear like you would want me to. But those of you who get what I'm trying to say will get it. But let me start with the simplest part, which is also the hardest part of getting involved. Our people have been subjected to a very long decades of psychological torture that tells them that they are not good enough, no matter whatever they do. They are not good enough. When they are there in their college, they tell them they are not good enough. When they are there in their job, they tell them they are not good enough. When they're there out there trying to make a bit of a difference, they are told they are not good enough. A society that reward those who join the fast lane, who fast track the successes that are pretty much like just films, films or smokes and the rest. The society that tells you that you are not good enough until somebody says you are. We can turn it around. So let's start with this. It is the simplest one, and it is also the hardest one. I figured out that when Awolowo wanted to get the Yorubas interested in self-rule, back then there was a governor in charge of the western region. There was a governor in charge of the eastern region, a governor in charge of the northern region, where Lugard was long gone. So, which means politically, there was an established authority that put our people under a different rule, completely alien to them, that the likes of Awolowo, the younger Awolowo then, felt like if they didn't do something, nobody would. Even though some people said maybe Nigeria or the Yoruba people being part of Nigeria agreed to an independence Nigeria too early. But that's a story for another day. What did they do? Awolowo and friends, fellow foreign students in the UK, in London, they decided to form a group called the Egbe Omo Yoruba, Egbe Omo Otutua, in London. The purpose of that was that they would be able to identify those Yorubas who live in London or all around the UK at the time. Once they are able to identify them, they will also be able to identify their value towards the yet to start campaign for the independence of Yoruba nation back then. It was an impossible task because back home, there were already politicians who agree with the colonialists and whatever they were doing at the time. But the likes of Awolowo felt like, no, we could have it better. We could do it better. So what did they do as well? In that gathering, in their first night, in their first meeting, they were able to secure 3 great young men who were able to guarantee another 3 great Yoruba men who are actually not even educated as much, but they had money. So whatever idea Awolowo had, whatever idea which included getting the Yoruba people wanting to be independent then, how do you make the Yoruba people interested in being on their own? How? You get involved in their daily lives. You need somebody to pick the tab. When I say pick the tab, it simply means when your messages goes to the people, when you decide to fund that local, when you decide to fund that community water system, when you decide to fund that community healthcare system, when you decide to give a scholarship to these different children in different communities, you need somebody to pick up the tab. One of the reasons why it is kind of so flexible and kind of confusing today for most people who want to charge for Yoruba nation. I'll get to that. Awolowo and his friends. First, Awolowo had the idea. He discussed it with other people. They gave their own idea of how to get started. And then they started looking for, somebody who will believe in their cause and will be ready to pick up the tab. And within 4 years, within a year in the UK, even those who came here to study, just study, they became revolutionized enough. They became revolutionaries that became the ground soldiers for what later became the self-rule in Yoruba land that can be repeated. Get involved. All of you Yoruba millionaires of today, some of you are millionaires in pound sterling. Some of you are millionaires in dollars. Some of you have done great things. Many of you are personally proud that you are Yorubas. When we talk about setting our people free, it is setting them free from ourselves first. This whole thing could have been half war. Let me say half done or half won if those who hold political offices in Yoruba land today, if they were there in the interest of the Yoruba land. But you know they are not. But many of you have this money. You probably give to charity, which is great. There are ways to get people on the side. And if you look at the modus operandi, mode of operation of these political criminals in Yoruba land, they rob Peter to pay Paul. And at the end of the day, both Peter and Paul are going to be robbed as well. So when Peter continued to chase Paul, knowing that somebody actually robbed him to pay Paul, yeah, the man who stole from them will be laughing you or laughing himself to pay him. Your money can be useful. Some people's money were so useful in the 40s when the likes of Awolowo, they had that dream that Yorubas could be great. Our people could live a normal life. We could raise our children educated. We could build a system that the rest of the world will envy. We could do things, great things, if we are no longer selfish. It is the system that allows those thieves who are stealing in the name of Yoruba people. Because nobody is stealing your money, my brothers and sisters. The little stipend they bring back to the Igbo land are stolen by the Igbos. No that and no peace. The little stipend they return back to the Yoruba land are stolen by the Yorubas. No that and no peace. Yes, the Fulanis are controlling the federal government, so they are taking the chunk of it. Of course, they are taking the chunk of it. Because the Yoruba governors, Yoruba reps, Yoruba senators, Yoruba ministers, same with the Igbo politicians, Igbo governors, senators, reps, and name them. They are okay with whatever they give back to them. Since they are not giving it to you, they are fine. So yeah, they can take whatever they take. If they feel like you have been robbed, they will be the one to first reject that robbery. Have you ever seen them reject any monthly allowance before? Have you? They gave them the right. So they rob you, not Fulanis. Nobody will steal from you. If you are there without resistance, without your consent, something will go down, won't it? Won't something go down? So you need to bury that. Bury it. The people who steal from you, they are your people. They can turn around and tell you, hey, see wetin Malamun stole. See wetin Diezani stole. See all the thing wey Tifnumbu steal. when you look very well, that is them. They are taking their share and they are not complaining. So when you use that your money, we can go into that communities. We can go into those different villages. You can plant the seed of Yoruba nation there and wait for it to germinate. Get involved in their lives. Get involved in their daily activities. Win their trust. Let them begin to see us as the alternative. That was why I said I'll be so grateful if Ilana Omo Odua and everyone championing Yoruba nation, if they are doing it not for their selfish interest or for monetary gains, which seems to be the driver of so many people today. You see, YouTube will give you money if you put content out there. Normally, YouTube will give you money. I don't know how much they give to you. I don't know how much, but I know how much they give to me. But the quality of what you release there is also so important to the people who consume them. But again, that is why I would want to see a walking Ilana Omo Odua, an umbrella body, where some of us in diaspora, we can then begin to say, all of you will get this money. Yoruba can use some of that money. We can plant the message of Yoruba nation in the minds of the people by getting involved in their daily lives. You can win their trust. The first power we need is the power given to us by the people, and it is the trust. So if you have somebody who is picking up that tab, if you have people genuinely, I'm not talking about crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is too porous. Crowdfunding is too exposed. Crowdfunding is peanuts. If you are fighting a battle of change of order, so that when they wake up tomorrow or one day, there will be no Obasanjo to speak for Yoruba anymore. There will be no Tifnumbu to speak for Yoruba anymore. There will be no useless governor or any criminal politician in Yoruba land to defend Nigeria anymore. There will be no religious center in Yoruba land or anybody using any form of anything to hoodwink the Yorubas to hang on to Nigeria anymore. We are talking about real money. I'm not talking about donation. Donations are good, though. Listen, they are very good. They help us to this point, even though they have their scandal. Some people even said, you know, now on this Yoruba nation, me that I'm just Maiyegun. This is not Yoruba nation platform, but I'm a Yoruba man, and I'm proud of being a Yoruba man, an Ijaw man. Yeah? And they said, you see that Maiyegun? On top Yoruba nation, the guy don't build 2 mansions for Nigeria. Because you see how porous this, we are raising money. Raising money to free Igbo, raising money to buy this, raising money to do this, raising money to do that. Raising money is porous. Crowdfunding is good. It's good. But it's not good enough. You need people, Yorubas, who have that deep wallets. They are watching me right now. They are shaking their head. I understand, well, but nobody is going to be stupid to open their wallet to untrustworthy people. I'm talking about people that if you do the background check, you will realize that they are Yoruba nation in the morning, and in the evening, they are swagger. And they are just waiting to unravel. Nobody is going to open their wallet for that. I'm pushing this to you. That's why I said there are things I'm not going to say in order not to begin to sound like, Maiyegun, you don't talk too much on that. We get what you mean. We get it. We get you what you mean. You get what I mean? Do you? Do you get it? We need people with deep wallets. Yorubas. Because we can peacefully bring the Yorubas to term. We can easily detach our people from the weaponized poverty which has made them to stay confused about Nigeria. They will tell you, what do you have hope in Nigeria? They don't. Do you think this Nigeria is still going to be better and what have you? No, they don't. They don't. Genuinely, they don't. And if for those of them who will tell you that I still believe that Nigeria will be great and the rest of that, ask them what gave them that impression. Most of them can't really say. It is part of that confusion. Even the architect of today's Nigeria, Obasanjo and gang, they have no idea what this is going to be like, how it is going to end, how it is going to be fixed. They have no clue. But taking it away from them is like taking away their life. This is the only thing they know. They can't. So we can take them off. Talking alone can't do it. Get involved in different campuses. I've had this. See, I have this great idea, right? So I went to Nigeria to try that on political level. And I got people. I got people who put together. Okay, let me put it this way. I said, people need to know that they have power. If they don't know that they have power, they will never know how to use it. And since they don't know how to use it, they will never be tempted to even use it. Let's show them. Me, Maiyegun, this Janjala Maiyegun, this small Maiyegun, on my platform, Maiyegun's diary. I told people like this. I spoke to people. I made them believe that if we have people who are ready to volunteer and be part of this political process, right? We can mobilize, we can get our people, we can give them hope, we can tell them, you can do it. If you can vote genuinely without collecting money, that means you have won back your right. You have gained back that your power. Whoever you will give that power to, you will always know that you can take it back anytime you want. Ladies and gentlemen, cut the long story short, Janjala Maiyegun, I got people who put resources, that if you put all the resources, all the money we put together, that people put together their money, hard-earned money, people who have never been in government, never been in any politics, people who return from abroad, people who are in Nigeria doing their own thing. We were able to raise more than, we were able to spend more than 300 million naira. 300 million naira in one state, one single state, Ogun State, trying to get the people onto our side. Trying to let the people know the power they have. All of you know the story, Abi. Even people who brought their own money to join that ideology, to believe, I don't know how much influence I do have on people. Let me be honest with you, right? Because I've been doing this for a long time. I am somebody who can make you believe that you can do something if you believe that you can. Something that you believe that, oh man, can I do that? I mean, yeah, we can do that. I mean, yeah, we can. Yes, we can. Let's give it a shot. I'm somebody who will tell you that failure is not failure. Failure, right, is a good thing. It's a good example that you are trying. That means you are trying something. Then you failed at it. I am somebody that can make you believe that. So I made people believe that, well-to-do people, they love that experiment. They went into it. But unfortunately, Nigeria has a way of getting them too. When they saw the way the whole thing was so clear, it was so easy, But the only problem is the people, they thought they were going to represent. They themselves had to jump ship. So the point I'm making is that individually, when you want to cover a whole country, when I say a whole country, that is the entire Yoruba land. Oh, somebody want me to say the pounds of 300 million. You know, to make it easier for you, the way I do my own division is this. If pound sterling is 700 naira, let's say if pounds is 700 naira, so 1 million pounds is 700 million, Abi. So divide 1 million pounds into 2, you will get 350 million, Abi. So if 1 million pounds is 700 million, 500,000 pounds will be somewhere around 350 million. I help that math will help you get close. Now, so I do my own because it's too much. When the numbers are too much, boy, I don't trouble myself. But that's the way I do my calculation in my head. Use that too. You will not get the accurate figure, but you get so close. That's how much we spend. And the people who spend that money, they are still alive. Some of them are still watching me right now. Some, because they wanted to go to APC. APC promised them something. Because it was like, it's just like that. There's no godfather. Get ticket. Get them through to the INEC. All those things that makes it difficult for people to actually present themselves for election, right? We close all those barriers. We bribed. We bribed them. In INEC, bribed them here, bribed them there, because they were demanding for money everywhere. But that money was covered by those who were funding my party then. But that's not what I wanted to really achieve with that story, because I failed with that. But what I wanted to achieve with the story is that when you want to do something so big, something big for a whole country, Yoruba land, you need to be involved. You need to, when I say involved, it simply means go have a program. Let the Yoruba organization, by the time you have somebody with people with deep pockets, when I say deep pockets, you see somebody, they ask me now, how much is that in pounds? God knows how much that person has. It may just be like, Maiyegun, I don't understand Naira, give me pounds. Because this one that you are talking about, all of us will get money for abroad to get involved in Yoruba nation. And we need people with deep pockets. Maiyegun, I want you to be giving me the figures in pound sterling. So imagine somebody who is ready to write a check of 1 million pounds every month in perpetuity for the cause of Yoruba nation. Do you know what that can do? In a year, you can turn the entire campuses in Yoruba land. You can turn them to campaign ground for Yoruba nation without them having to shout Yoruba nation yet. But for them to be able to at least come up and defend why Yorubas are better off. You see all this money? You can get involved in different communities where people are there. They are ready to defend their land. Let me tell you something. They are ready. But they don't have enough to defend themselves. Your organization can go there. Talk to them. Do a village meeting. Let the ballers, everybody there. No secret meeting. Pledge your support. Give them something. Something that connects them. Something that will make them know that if not for these people, now all of them, you need people with deep pockets, and you have them in abundance in Yoruba land. 1 million pounds is a lot, some will say, but it's not. If you are covering a whole country, when I say Yoruba land, that's a whole country. 58, between 58 and 66 million people. That is a lot. I was looking online. I was reading about some countries in Africa. Yeah. And that first country, Nigeria, has a population of 206 million people. That's what you have on the global population reading. 206 million people in Nigeria. I don't know every other figure inflated from every other part, right? But you can tell majority of those people live in southern Nigeria. And Yorubas have their chunk share of that. Trust me. We do. Now, if Yorubas are pulled out, and Yorubas are 60 million people, which you belong to, which I belong to, the country, that's a whole country. That is the size of the entire UK. Almost the size of the population of the UK. Not just that. In Africa, the country that is next in big population to Nigeria is Ethiopia. Don't let it shock you. Ethiopia is a big country with big people, a lot of people. 114 million people. Egypt is next with 102 million people. Then you have Congo, DRC, Then you have South Africa with 59 million people. You have Tanzania with 59 million people. You have Kenya with 53 million people. You have Uganda with 45 million people. You have Algeria with 43 million people. You have Sudan with 43 million people as well. Morocco with 36 million. Angola with 32 million. Ghana with 31 million. Mozambique with 31 million. Madagascar with 27 million. Cameroon with 26 million people. Cote d'Ivoire with 26 million. Niger with 24 million. Burkina Faso with 20 million. Mali with 20 million. Malawi with 19 million. Zambia with 18 million. Senegal with 16 million. You have 58 countries in Africa. On and on and on and on until you get to Mauritius with 1.2 million. Eswatini with 1.1 million. Djibouti with 988,000. Reunion, there's a place called Reunion with 895,000 people. You have a place called Comoros with 869,000 people. You have a place called Western Sahara with 597,000 people. You have Cabo Verde. You have Mayotte. You have Sao Tome and Principe, 209,000 people. You have Seychelles Island, which is 98,000 people. Then you have Saint Helena, which is 6,000 people. How could anybody tell you there's a Yoruba man from the country of 60 million people? You are going to be inconsequential in the world. How could anybody say that? How could you even say that to your children without destroying their self-esteem so that they can go out there and they can be sounding ridiculously ignorant by defending Nigeria, that they have no substance or anything to really say about? How could you do that to your children? They did that to you. They did that to us. How would you want to do that to your children? So we need to get involved. If Yoruba nation, let me tell you this, right? If Yoruba become a country, Yoruba land will be the 7th biggest country in the world. I mean, in the whole of Africa to start with. By the time you put us in the old bracket, right? You can just imagine where we're going to be. 60 million people, our children, competitive children. You ask yourself, who's going to build their future for them? Who? Of course, us. And it starts with what we tell them. The ignorance of this generation you see today, the ignorance that so many other people display when they defend Nigeria, they are so disappointing. We shouldn't do that to the next generation. Undermine their capacity, reduce their self-esteem in the name of Nigeria, and you have nothing to give to them as a backup. Nothing to say, this is why it is so. You can't tell them why. You can only tell them if you are benefiting from the rots. But what about it for the general good? I mean, this is why you can tell your children the truth. You can get involved. We can get involved. First, by telling ourselves the truth. Who are we supposed? When the people say we need to fight them, we need to destroy them, I say, listen, you have to have an idea of who you are fighting. You need to have an idea of who you are fighting first, so that you are not fighting the shadow and then they continue to attack and undermine you from behind, and you continue to wonder, how are they able to get to us? We thought we are all united. Who are the saboteurs? Who are the sellouts? Who are those making money from this? Because you have no idea of who you are fighting. You need to have an idea first. If you are a Yoruba man and you know that Yoruba has been shortchanged so badly in Nigeria, before you put up that armor, before you put up that gun, before you put anything on that you want to go to war, you should ask yourself, who am I going to fight? You are going to fight the political class in Yoruba land. And the fight is not about guns. The fight is not with bottles. The fight is not with cutlass. This fight is not violence that way. Of course it's not. It's never going to be about violence. You attack the raw base, the people. They've weaponized poverty. You cannot preach liberation to hungry man. It doesn't work. Rather, you will create an imbalance riot because an hungry man is an angry man. But you can control the anger of man if you control the way or the access or the door to his belly. That work well a lot. It is an instrument that has been considered the crime against humanity to deliberately weaponize, to deliberately push people into poverty and then turn around, present yourselves as their saviors, the people with the solution to their problems, only if they can trust you again. Whether they trust you or not, it can be forcefully taken from them by weaponizing that poverty, unleashing mayhem that will never, ever make them capable enough to fight back. That is where we come in. There are people that will attack you and beat you up for asking them not to listen to Tifnumbu. There are people that will actually take it up with you if they have to track you down and beat you up and possibly even hurt you. If they feel like you are telling people not to listen to Obasanjo. I'm talking about when you mean it. That is where we come in. People don't need to know where you are getting the funding. I would love to be part of that. Part of those who are that background team who sees to the funding of the advancement of the Yoruba first ideology that doesn't feed the pocket of selfish few, but that gives a rekindled hope, something to hold on to as a Yoruba people, a rekindled, a rebirth, a rekindled hope. And then weaponize that against those who have been weaponizing poverty. Do you get it? I bet you get it. We need that. We need serious people. Serious people who knows that getting Yoruba nation or getting succor for our people in a disjointed, imbalanced Nigeria is a long game. You must be ready to play that long game until we win the trust of the people. It is so important. Very important. So wherever I say Yoruba, if you are a Biafran, put Biafra there. You already have IPOP. You already have the DOS. You have people on ground. Close rank. Close rank. Close ranks. And cut down your bickering. Build on this and stop your infighting. You know why? Whenever you put Biafra into the frame of what I've just told you now, you can't put a divided Biafra in there. A house divided against itself will break. So says the saying. Maybe the sage. I won't say much on that as well. I'm a Yoruba man. Very proud one. Nigeria is not bigger than Yoruba to me. And here I am, calling on those who have similar infightings for the sake of the millions of Yoruba people. Close ranks. Be like Awolowo. What Awolowo did wasn't a miracle until he got those idealist guys with him who used the same pattern I just told you. It is important because it is when you have such in Yoruba land, that is when you will know those you are really up against. That is when you will know that when you turn on your camera and you want to tell the Yorubas why we need Yoruba nation, why we need regionalism, why you need restructuring, just anything you want to propagate for the Yoruba people or about the Yoruba people, what you think is right for the Yoruba people, and you want to elaborate on them so well, just remember this. If you don't have a platform that is united enough, funded well enough, and when I say funded, discreetly, whereby the source of the funding is never known, be like Awolowo. Be like those team. Before their own infighting started, be like Akintola and the gang. These were guys who played the game so well, because when you get to that point, you will realize that you have no other enemy blocking the way other than the Yoruba people like yourself, Yorubas, traditional rulers, local government chairmen, past and present, that big contractor, this socio-political group here and there, all of them, you will see clearly that they are the Fulanis. When you turn on your camera, you will not be out there and telling people that the Fulanis this, the Igbos that, Fulanis this, Igbos that. But because you will get to realize that the Fulani this, the Igbo that, they are just the mirage, they are just the myth, they are just the lies that makes one Nigeria eventually. So as a Yoruba podcaster, as a Yoruba presenter, I love it. Some people told me to start speaking Yoruba. I'm like, come on. Such a golden thing for me to speak Yoruba, but I will be so unfair to so many of my non-Yoruba speakers, right? And I'm glad enough that we get to mix them all up here. But there are many of you who speak Yorubas better all the time. When this idea of Awolowo and the idea of those who were the first scholars who challenged the status quo and they won. But what happened is that they won the war, but they lost the battle. The battle would have been the battle of the survival of the Yoruba people. That battle is what they lost because they aimed for the war. But you can learn from that. Like I said, you can learn from that and you can tell our people that. Tell our people why we are where we are now. Say it to them. Name those who have been involved in keeping us poor. Those who have been keeping us poor, they are not you. I mean, they are not Igbos. They are not Fulanis. They are not Hausas. They are not from any other part other than Yoruba land. Because if you feel like any other tribe in any part of Nigeria, any one of them is committing any crime in any part of Yoruba land, and yet those saddled with the responsibility of keeping us safe, speaking on our behalf, getting us the best of the best deal as a people of part of Nigeria, they looked away. Then you don't blame them. You blame the people who looked away. Because number one, it is either they are collaborating with them or, like I said, Nigeria will never let them do anything. So if Nigeria won't let them do anything to keep us safe as Yoruba people in Yoruba land, why are they still part of Nigeria? Or have you heard any of those governors fighting, saying Yorubas will break away? How can we not have our own electricity? No be fool and say make you know have electricity in Yoruba land. You know that it is not the Igbos who refuse to build the medical centers in Yoruba land, and it is not the Hausas, right, that stopped us from what do you call it, sending our children to the better school, building good, better roads in Yoruba land. The only people who denied us that are the people who are parading themselves as Yoruba leaders. So the power they believe they have is the poverty that they have weaponized. So as a Yoruba presenter, as a Yoruba podcaster, vlogger, whatever, right? You should make it a duty to tell an average Yoruba man and woman where to look for his problems, where to look if he's looking for the cause of his problem or a problem. You should never look far. Before you blame an Igbo man, before you blame a Fulani man, before you blame an Hausa man, what is that Yoruba man doing? The one parading himself as your governor, the one parading himself as your local government chairman, the one parading himself as your rep or senator, the ones walking about as your political leader in your community. What do you think they are doing? They will tell you, now the government is supposed to do something. Ask them, where is the government? They will point to Bokwari, and you ask that, have you told Bokwari face to face and cheer for him? Have you? They will say, no, we don't do things like that. We are doing a meeting. The government is, you know what I mean? But when politics comes, they will then tell you, Buhari has failed. Buhari has failed. But it's that time to use the weaponized poverty to make you probably trust them. And when you look around, you realize that they are all the same, in that same bracket of inefficiency, of incompetency, and of greed and selfishness, the one that brought us to this level in the first place. So you see your brothers there. So if you turn on that camera, especially all of you living in Nigeria, call yourself bloggers and what have you, you have created so many stories. In 2022, we want to see a redirected, you know what I mean now, a redirected kind of approach, the one that targets the people. Do you get what I mean now? One that targets the people. If you want to tell us that we should believe in Yoruba nation, you must be able to also get ready to put in the work. This is where I somehow would want to see if indeed we have the genuine Omo Yorubas, Omo Yoruba, like real Omo Yorubas, who will actually use their own money to save their own people. How? You see, when you win the trust of those people, in a twinkle, you can take away all the political power from all those criminals, and you can give it to those who can genuinely, right, speak out for the Yoruba people, So the Fulanis that crossed our border, kidnapping our people, ransacking our farms, destroying our villages and communities, burning people's properties beyond anything, right? You will have people that will be bold enough to get those that will get them gunned down, that will get them all down. And Buhari and anybody who is in charge of Nigeria then will never have the audacity to even come out and say, Pem, you can change that. That is something that an average Nigerian will tell you that Baba is a long thing. That's why I call it a long game. Even though many would want to just sleep and wake up tomorrow morning and somebody just make an announcement. Bang, 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 bang. Gee, Yoruba nation, we declare. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. Maiyegun, we need to fight them. We need to use all this in our story. This in our story. We use chemical bomb. We use chemical this. I say, wake me up when you start, please, so that I'm not the one disturbing you or delaying you. Oh yeah, go on. Go and use that now. Okay? Wake me up when you are done. I've been hearing that for the past 4 years. Thanks to Adeyinka Grandiot. Adeyinka Grandiot presented Yoruba people in a different way that even Yorubas are so ashamed of him. Like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? It is a long game. And if you don't have the people on your side on this, you are on your own. It doesn't take time to know. How do you get them on your side? You first have to show that you are actually worthy of this. I've made a call out now. Let the rich Yorubas use their money rightly. You see, all of you, all of us, where they use our $5, $20, $50, $100. You know what I mean? To support all of the advocacies and everything everywhere. I say thank you to you. You people are actually the fuel that pushed the vehicle to this point. But it's not enough. It will never be enough. And it seems that there is no accountability as well. I mean, I don't know much about that. Until I was told that, Maiyegun, we heard that you have built 2 mansions in Nigeria from the money that you made from Yoruba Nation. I'm like, you could not tell me if you don't build one mansion, even if just one, you don't build for me somewhere. Tell me, make people give me the address of the place. You know, sometimes people feel do something for you and say, Maiyegun, Yoruba Nation. So, no accountability. So we want something more clearer, something more direct. War is not won on social media. Do you know that? There are some things you don't really have to say until the results start coming out and the rest of that. You see everything I told you now. Some people are already doing it. But it's not enough. Walking on the ground, getting involved in the community recovery, areas where people have been attacked. Some people have been there, offering their support, giving them money, giving them, all that, and they choose not to publicize them. Because we need to win the trust of these people. We need, where the government's abandoned them, we need to make them, when they look around, they need to see some people. And when you see them, when you win their trust, you will tell them, I'm a Yoruba man, I'm a Yoruba ni mi, I'm a Yoruba ni, when you begin to win their trust, when you begin to win their confidence and the rest of that, and before you know it, that will spread. When that spread, you know what I mean? So I said, people are already doing it. People are already on their own providing resources to help communities who come under different attacks in Yoruba land. How many times have you heard about these attacks or that attacks in Yoruba land anymore? Somehow, people have started getting involved, and I appreciate them a lot. I want something bigger, something physical, something relative, something we can all, move with, something with endless deep pockets. When I say deep pocket, somebody needs to pay the tab. And I know what I'm talking about. There are those who knows that Yoruba nation, Yoruba land can be bigger if it's well managed by selfless people, not these greedy, selfish people. You need to take the power away from them first. Some said, who are those who are going to lead the Yoruba nation? I said, there are people who are going to lead the Yoruba nation. You know why? Because they will be motivated too. As long as they know the beginning, the genesis of it, they are involved in it. They are part and parcel of those who craft or who draft what will be the foundation of that nation. Get them involved. Get an organization that takes care of that legitimately, religiously. Go into those communities. Walk in there with confidence. Give them the ID. Give them a name that is hope, a name that a Yoruba person will be so proud of. And when they hear that name, they feel hopeful. That is what we want. That is what will last. When you are going to need them, it's going to be like a clarion call. Politicians make them poor so that you can give them money in order to weaponize their poverty, in order to use them to validate the 4 years fraud they call election. You don't challenge them by election anymore. I did try that. Our people are psychologically, mentally, not prepared to challenge those who have oppressed them for this long. They have been psychologically, they have been mentally destroyed enough to suspect every good thing that could work for them. And they know this is not going to work for them. They know Nigeria is not working for them. But psychologically, they can manage and deal with it than for them to trust something new. That is psychological manipulation of years. Children are being subjected to that now. Millions of new young people, 22 years ago, democracy started. Those who have their children 22 years ago, 21 years ago, 20 years ago, if you are 21, 22, 23 years old as you are watching this video, you are just a baby. 22 years ago when Nigeria got into the democracy. Today, Nigeria has happened to many of them. Nigeria has shaped many of them. We can no longer change their minds. Psychologically, they can't trust what will work for them. They can't. Even if they want to, they can't. You need to begin to psychologically win their trust. That's why you need somebody. You need a people, collection of people who will come together, give themselves a name that is money, resources that go straight into the advocacy for Yoruba nation and what have you, where politicians are beginning to share their rice, where politicians are beginning to share their food, where they are beginning to share wrapper, where they are beginning to share bowls in order to get them to validate another 4 years of fraudulent manipulation and poverty. You can be the alternative. Your money can do the job for them. You can be the confraternity, the fraternity that the Yoruba needs now. There's no fraternity. If you are going into Yoruba nation because you want to raise money and you want to collect money, you are not for Yoruba nation. Let me tell you this. Trust me, you are not. I'm saying it to you right now. I don't want to bruise your ego. I don't want to hurt your feelings so that it doesn't look like because you see, when you find this fraternity, the Yoruba fraternity, which is, it's not a secret culture, because some of you don't say, Maiyegun, I don't like fraternity. Fraternity is brotherhood. Brotherhood, you see, when you say revolution, say, I'm a revolutionary. Revolutionary. You are joining a fraternity of a brotherhood of one idea that is for the benefit of general and the millions. So if fraternity makes you uncomfortable, call it anything you want to call it. Coming together, they call it Yoruba reconnaissance, Yoruba rebirth, Yoruba now. You know what I mean? Anything, just anything that makes it easier for to say, in association with Agbekoya, Yoruba rebirth, and their sponsor, we are giving Agbekoya 200 million naira. And this announcement is not for social media, by the way. I'm just giving you the example now. Make an impact and say, Agbekoya, give us the data of all our able-bodied men and women who are working in the security world of Yoruba land, who understand the topography, every area, every corner of Yoruba land. We are going to give you 200 million naira every month. And then we want the receipt for that. Your job is this and that. Nobody needs to know. They would know. So when Agbekoya comes into, or this group come to your community, and they root all those criminals out there from wherever they are, and they say, you're safe. Yoruba rebirth, Yoruba first. Yoruba rebirth, Yoruba first. And they share their flyers. They share everything that tells them about who is doing this. People will begin to say, and if you have any problem again, call this number. Don't call the police. Oh. Don't call any of them, okay? If you notice any strange movement in your area, we need you to call this number. When you begin to build that kind of trust within the local communities, and your politicians begin to go to those places, and people begin to tell them that you useless people, look at that water system there. It's not borehole. Water, proper water system is built by the Yoruba First team. These are the things that we should be getting from you criminals. Look at that schools there. They were built by the Yoruba. I'm using that Yoruba First, Yoruba Now, or anything. I'm not a millionaire. You know what? If to say I be one kind of millionaire now, I can start it. You get what I mean now? But you can't tell anybody how to spend their money. You can give them the idea. And I have a lot of millionaires watching my video. I have guys who actually, they are rich guys, Yorubas all over the world. They watch my video. I remember when I was raising money for my Diaspora Radio International, somebody gave me 2,000 pounds. How will you go put 2,000 pounds on GoFundMe? Who be this person? And he said, don't worry, if you need more, just call on us. So, I don't need more. That's enough. Thank you. 2,000 pounds. Today, that's how much? That's going to be like 1.5 million naira. Now, a lot of money. Oh. Do you get that now? But if to say I'm a millionaire, let's say I'll be a rich person now. And I'm just going to say, hey, my millionaire friend. I'll start calling their names. You know, I'll just say, hey, Princess Balogun. You should be in London by tomorrow evening. Don't give me any excuse. I need you in London tomorrow evening. Emergency meeting. Baba Shade from Dublin. You know, there are some people who watch my video on Facebook. They're like, Baba Shade is watching. Baba Shade, like Baba Shade from Belgium. You need to be in London tomorrow evening because I know say Baba Shade will pay. Maybe Baba Shade will come and give 500,000 pounds. Princess will come say, Maiyegun, time hard. It's only you that can give me, that can make this call that I'm going to answer. I'm going hard, didn't say, but my phone 1 million. Say, share 1 million every month. I be 1 million every week. Maiyegun, just share every month. 1 million pounds. I said, hey, that's good. Then I'll start calling people if I'm a millionaire. Or some say, Maiyegun, don't worry, you'll become a millionaire. And me, amen. The first time, when I make my first million, I will go and build something in Odo, Bolu, apart from what I'm doing right now, trying to see people, take care of things and all of that. But there are rich people watching me. They're laughing. They're laughing right now. But if I manage to get into your head, this is what I'm talking about. You can make use of some money. You know what I mean? You can give us something. That money can be used. I know that nobody wants to just give money to anybody or give money to some people that go to, they'll say, leader. They say, who is the director of a Yoruba, this and that funding? They say, oh boy, you don't know that guy where they go. Say, who him be? Say, and that guy be the chairman for Yoruba First. And the guy, they share it. Say, I they drive this limousine. I say, since the people they abroad, now all of them they abroad, all these rich people, they do Yoruba nation. The guy just a maga them. The guy don't marry 3 wives now. He don't build about 5 houses. The guy na big man, oh. Anywhere he go na convoy. The Muguns where they give him money, millionaire, Yoruba, they are abroad. Nobody want to do that. No. So I know what I'm talking about. And for those who are actually rich,
All of you, my rich friends. I know you didn't become rich so cheap. Therefore, you're never going to just flaunt your money away. But you know what I'm talking about. We can make use of some money from you. Real money now. That's why at the same time, I'm calling on those we know, Ilanomo Odua. They have the coverage, they have the acceptance. We have told the whole world, Ilanomo Odua is good to go. We can trust and work with them. But there are so many things going on underground as well. If they can fix that, and suddenly somebody come and say, Maiyegun, my brother, I watched your last video. You are a star. People tell me that a lot, by the way. People tell me that a lot. You are you are a blessing to Yoruba nation. Thank you. People tell me that a lot. But you see, Maiyegun, I will give, if people call now, I can say, Ilanomo Odua. We don't get millionaire. We want, they won't help us. So we need organization. The last time I spoke to Baba Akintoye, and so many other people I've spoken to, I've told them that they need to show organizational framework, something convincing enough that you have this framework. There are many, many of us that can make a lot of difference in the course of the Yoruba nation and all of that. There are ways we can get people involved, right? And then I'm talking about in a way where people will not just get involved. They will have reasons to be involved. They have something that attaches them. They have a lot they want to also be part of. And then it could be the bridge between the Yorubas in diaspora and the Yorubas in Nigeria to actually cut off all these criminals who have told you, you have no choice. Nigeria is one. Nobody is changing that. There's nothing you can do about that. Take it or leave it. Your life or your land, and all those conditions they've given to you. We need to get involved. Me, now this platform I get, where I can tell you how I feel, where I can get a lot of you to agree with me, and I also get some of you to disagree with me as well. I can get some of you to start laughing there, and you'll be like, you don't even know why you are giggling there, because Maiyegun just said something that makes you laugh, and the rest of that. That is the most I can contribute when we talk about what I'm talking about now. So we need real people. We need real people to volunteer too. Listen, guys, in a struggle, there's something called volunteering. Volunteering means you are doing it not for money. That is called volunteering. And volunteering, right, it is not compulsory or mandatory. It is always voluntary, volunteering. Now you, well, you can get rewarded for doing something. Whatever comes for it, take it. Cherish it, value it, appreciate it. Because it's not really meant for you to get paid for it. So when you are volunteering, all over the world where you volunteer, there is always something that comes with it. On your CV, you have it there, you have volunteered, and you have worked on different outreach programs of the Yoruba nation people. You have done this, you have done that, you have been to the health centers, you have helped them, process the sick people, because Yoruba nation is doing some programs, a well-funded program that helps a lot of people. And you are involved, you are volunteering. You know what I'm talking about? Get used to volunteering. Tell your children to get used to volunteering. Tell them about volunteering to helping other people. You see all these things, they call it community. Community this, community that. You don't need offices everywhere before you can sell Yoruba nation. You just need people. You need people. Number one, resources, the people. People who knows what they are talking about. People who knows why they are talking to people. And then, what's the end result? All of these things requires us to get involved. You should get involved. When you go, see, you don't even need to go to outreach and be doing ejakede igbala, bashenkede igbala, bashenkede osan, so there you, bashenkede igbala. No, you know those things. You don't need to do all of that. You can start a conversation with family members. You can start a conversation with anybody, anywhere. And you have that conversation in a way that you can bring something out by telling them something, not arguing with them, getting involved. It's a long thing, no? It's a long thing. You don't need to do Ikede. If you do Ikede, it's not bad, though. You can go out there. Kereo, kereo, onílé, àlejò, ọmọdé, àgbà, ọkùnrin, obìnrin. Yoruba nation ni o. Ìdí rèé o. Àwọn ọmọ wa tí wọ́n lè rí iléèwé gidi lọ. Yoruba nation ni o. Go out there, do that, do evangelism. Evangelism is also good. It depends on whatever you are good at. Just do it. Get involved. Don't join those who always blame people. Don't blame people for your problems. Don't just blame them. Do something. Nobody is coming to change anything for us, okay? Talk to people. Get comfortable talking about Yoruba. Tell them what we could have been. Tell them what we could have been. Use your imagination to the highest of whatever it is. Do it. Enjoy it. Feel comfortable about it. There's nothing wrong in that. Nigeria is not bigger than you. Nigeria is not bigger than Yoruba nation. Nigeria is not bigger than the Biafra nation. Nigeria is not bigger than any part of those things, because all those parts makes Nigeria. If a part is out of it, Nigeria doesn't exist. Be proud of who you are. Say it with pride. No matter what they say out there, let your children believe it. Use your imagination. Be imaginative. Create Yoruba heroes. Superheroes for Yoruba. Create them in your stories. Tell your children. Let them tell their children too. Do it. Get involved. Stop feeding them with those lies that they're going to find out later. And they're going to say, fuck Nigeria. And you're not going to feel comfortable with that. Junior, when did I raised you well? When did I raise you to be using F word as a mommy? She doesn't know what may person use F word. So I raised you well. You're a Christian. Don't use F word. Nigeria will make them use the F word one day. Because you're lying to them. If you continue to tell them that Nigeria is a great country and Nigeria will be a great country someday, it won't. Tell them. Yes, officially we are Nigerians now. We didn't create Nigeria problem. I didn't. My father didn't. Your parents didn't. Well, maybe your state, because if your papa a politician, would they collect contractor from his own friend back then? You know, if he said the whole thing, but you didn't. Do you agree? Maybe you did you? Because I don't even know. A lot of people are watching me right now, so I don't know who I'm talking to or who I'm not talking to. But personally, I didn't create problem of Nigeria. I didn't collect a dime from anything they've done. I didn't make any party. I was never part of any policy making or decision making. I've always been part of the victims. All of us in the victim world. The open concentration camp. So we didn't. But we can be part of the solution. We are the solution. And the solution is not far-fetched though. It simply means if you know be say you're mad, if you don't get mental problem, don't think you'll be doing the same thing again and again, then you are expecting a different result. That means you are a madman. But if you are not, then you will see into this and say, I know how they deceive me. I won't let them do the same thing to my children. I'll tell them the truth. They need to know. Let your children know. So that children's mind, trust me, they are like a sacred place. If the first thing you are going to plant into that heart of theirs, their mind, is the truth that they denied you, that truth will help that child. And if we can plant that truth in the minds of the million of these children, Nigeria is not bigger than who they are. Tell them, say to them confidently, tell them who they are, where they come from. Tell them their story. Like again, use your imagination. Make up stories if you have to make up stories. Tell stories about your ancestors. Tell them they were forced to be part of this fraudulent contraption. And your children should never grow up and start saying Nigeria is not break up. It's not cannot be break. You can't break up Nigeria.
Look at all my mates shouting, Nigeria, Nigeria, what do you call it? Nigeria unity is non-negotiable. My mate, 35, 38, 40-year-old, jumping up and down. Nigeria is non-negotiable. Nigeria is non-negotiable. Don't blame them. Blame their parents. Their parent told them that. They had no reason, they had no way of asking why, because their parents too, they didn't have any answer. They were subjected to believe that. And from generation to generation, people believe that. And that's what you need. Conquer the mind. You see this mind? Mind. Mind is a very powerful tool. If you don't use it, somebody will use it for you. And that is why majority of those they've been impoverished and miseducated in Nigeria, they can't reason because they don't have the mind of their own. No, really. They don't have a thinking capacity to reject something because they are conditioned to be that way. You can change that. That's the point, Sha. Don't lie to your children, please. Don't lie to them. Let us have a generation that knows that they are from somewhere before Nigeria. Yeah? And in fact, that somewhere was better than they are in Nigeria today. If you raise a generation like that, the job is half done. It is half done. But again, I am just a teacher. I am just Maiyegun. I haven't received such calling to lead millions of people. I haven't. Maybe as they say, life is a teacher. The more you live, the more you learn. As I age, as I grow older, maybe, just maybe, I may get such call. And as they say, such call to get so much to the point that you dedicate your life to lead millions of people to what you believe. If you ask me, how am I going to do it? I'll do it just the same way I just told you. When people say, Maiyegun, come here, we want you to come and be this and that, I will say, give me 3 multimillionaires that believe in that idea. If you can't give me 3 multimillionaires, Yorubas, who believe in this idea, just make me a supporter, please. I would love to be a supporter of the idea. Don't make me lead something. I won't say more than that. However, God can use anyone. I mean, my job as a teacher is to make you believe that you are valuable. In the course of this whole thing, it is just how you see yourself that we then decide. Any one of us can be that useful. Any one of us. But you must be prepared for it. You must have that prepared mind. You must never have it at the back of your mind that this is about what I can gain or what I can get. The moment you are not that selfish, probably you get, and you are choosing, you get there. But for somebody like myself, I am a teacher on the temple of truth. Say it. Let the people do what they like with it. Tonight, I have said it again. I am a Yoruba man, a proud one. And Nigeria does not come before my Yoruba until when we are able to change this. Officially, I am still a Nigerian, no doubt. But like Omoyele Sowore once said, Maiyegun, many Nigerians have mentally succeeded from Nigeria. And he was right. Thank you so much for your time tonight. I'm going to see you some other night. So if you're watching me right now on YouTube, like that video before you go. Watch it over again if you have to. I'm going to see you some other time. Good night.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Wọ́n bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Prẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Ha! Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lé ibo níṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í o.
ẹ̀yin bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.